Lots of calls coming in, but I'm going to start off with an email on news that broke in the last hour from James in Blackheath, who says legal issues are already getting in the way of Starmer's one-in, one-out deal. Would Kemi like to say, "I told you so"? Well, there's a challenging question for you to start off with.
James, yes, you've taken the words out of my mouth. That is exactly what I would say to Labour. We told you so. It wasn't just me, lots of people. We had a Rwanda removals plan. It wasn't a perfect plan, but it would have third country processing. And that would let a lot of people realise that you wouldn't just get easy access to the UK. But there are so many legal problems with removing people from our country, people who shouldn't be here. Immigration is too high. But on top of that, people arriving illegally, claiming asylum when really they're not asylum seekers, they're economic migrants, is a problem that's increasing all across Europe. Other countries have it worse than we do. We've got to get tough on it. And that means having a sensible plan. We had a deportation bill disapplying the Human Rights Act, making sure that if you arrive illegally, you're deported immediately. No benefits for these groups of people. We need to get very tough. And Labour is going to learn the hard way. They're just playing nice, one in, one out with France. I mean, that's not a real plan, and they can't even do one in, one out.
But this is going to fuel the argument about the European Convention on Human Rights,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Because although it hasn't gone to that, but you can imagine it'll end up in the Supreme Court, then it'll end up there. Now, you always seem to me to be quite sceptical on whether that would actually help the situation, but I detect a shift in your position over the last few months.
So I've always said that if we need to leave the ECHR in order to control our borders, we should leave. But it's not a silver bullet. There are many countries who are in the ECHR who are able to deport. Why aren't we doing the same? But every single day that I've been leader of the opposition, there's been a crazy story just like this one, where somebody who should be removed is using our own legal system against us, and that is hardening my view. I want a very tough policy. And what I did was I commissioned, one of the best lawyers in the country, Lord David Wolfson, the KC, and a few other lawyers to come up with a plan. This is what I want to do. I want to be able to deport, people arriving illegally. I want to be able to protect our veterans from endless harassment cases. And they are going to give me advice which will then help me make a decision on what we're doing.
You're announcing that at the conference?
Absolutely. So at party conference, people will find out what we're doing. I can't say more than that. But what I'm not going to do is just rush out and say, we're going to do this without a plan. This is a Conservative Party that is changing under my leadership. We have to be responsible, personal responsibility, fiscal, civic, and putting out policies in a responsible way is part of our brand now.
The problem here is, though, with this particular case, apparently the argument put forward by the lawyers was, well, if he gets sent back to France, he'll be destitute. Now, if they really won the argument just on that and got the judge to say, no, he must stay, then, that's open season. No one will ever be sent back, will they?
Exactly. We are basically turning our country into a refuge for anyone who may have even the slightest bit of unhappiness in any other country. That is a serious abuse of the asylum system. And being sent back to France, a European country, very high standards across the board, being a reason for you not to be deported, I think is shocking. And this was supposed to be the soft-hearted, humane deal, one in, one out. We'll send back somebody who's crossed illegally, and then we'll take in some people who have, relatives here or something like that. It's not working. What's happening is that France is sending their people, so we're getting lots of people in. We're not getting anybody out. We need some tough laws. The government should look at our deportation bill. How do we start disapplying the Human Rights Act and so on? And then we'll start fixing this mess.